Well, hello there, it's me, RJB, and today we have a replay with HamburgerSasu against the player 1vs1zzzzz. A lot of Z's there in the name. I'm not sure who the guy is. I think it might be Kimki-san. I'm not too sure. Kimki-san is a pretty damn good player, often underrated in my opinion. I think he's probably on the level of HamburgerSasu. Sometimes he isn't. Sometimes he goes for a little bit of stuff that isn't too smart. But, you know, we never know what he's going to do. He always has peculiar strategies, but he's really crisp. His micro-macro is insane. And he is here playing against HamburgerSasu. He's on the Protoss. This HamburgerSasu is here on the bottom corner playing as the white Zerg. We've got ourselves a nice little Zerg versus Protoss going on here. We're going to speed up the first 2 minutes, and it looks like HamburgerSasu is already going for something that's far out of the ordinary because he's starting off with a pool on 9 supply, and he is going straight into an extractor followed right afterwards, whereas Kimki-san is actually going for a gateway into a nexus, which is a very weird build order, but he knows that his opponent is right below him, so he's going for that gateway just to be safe, I think, or maybe to get Zealot out to deal some damage to his opponent. But HamburgerSasu is going for 4 Zerglings there right off the bat. He has 7 drones mining minerals. He's got Zerg speed there on the way, no longer mining gas, and he's going straight for an attack here on 1vs1zzzzz. He's going to come Z. Z is not that prepared here. He's getting caught off guard there. He does have some probes ready to fight, and he's got a Zealot in the mix there as well. He's going to try to defend himself against these Zerglings for HamburgerSasu. HamburgerSasu gets 1 probe kill, going to try to get a second one. He will get a second one there. There's 2 probes down there. Now the Zealot is going to get surrounded by the Zerglings, but he manages to micro the Zealot out of the surround, but the 3rd probe there goes down. Pretty bad situation here for Z. The Zealot goes down, Zealot number 2 also goes down, 2 more Zealots are on the way, cannon is being warped in, but it looks like HamburgerSasu is somehow managing to deal a lot of damage here to his opponent. Also, do note, Koreans do not use the worker stack attack, so it's very hard to defend against these particular attacks that HamburgerSasu is now throwing out. Although the Zerglings there are getting more probe kills, he's trying to protect the cannon is being protected, the cannon's going to get up. 2 Zerglings there left alive, 2 more arriving on the scene, but his Zealots have spawned there as well, so now HamburgerSasu will be incapable of dealing any more damage to his opponent here, and 1vs1zzzzz is more or less safe, although he did lose, I think, about 6 or 7 probes there in total to this very early harass there from his opponent. Kind of painful for him, kind of painful, but things are looking pretty good because he has that +1 nexus there that's going to help him recover his economy. Whereas HamburgerSasu is currently only looking at 1 hatchery as a macro hatchery. He's got a 2nd hatchery there on the way, a 3rd hatchery you could say, and a 4th hatchery there as well, but they still are morphing, so they're not finished yet. He does not have the production capability yet to keep adding on more drones all that quick. But one thing he does have is the fact that he can keep annoying Z here and maybe get the Zealots there. No, the Zealots managed to sneak out, stay alive. And the Zerg is now just hitting that nexus, slowly peeling it down. Already done about, I think, 500 damage to that nexus there. Although the Zerg is now incapable of resuming with their harass because the cannon is finished just within the range of that nexus, which means the nexus is now protected. And a Cybercore is now on the way because, well, Z knows he can't go in with a mass. He needs tech, most likely. But HamburgerSasu does have the option to go for a very quick mass, given the fact that he has, I think, pretty much nothing invested in defense except it's 1 single sunken there. Zealots there on the hunt, but he's running away from the Zealots. He's going to try to run around to go back in, and he goes back in. Indeed, he managed to get in there, but he won't get anything done because there's cannons there protecting. So he's just going to try to catch those Zealots, but the Zealots are instead ignoring the Zerglings and just going straight for HamburgerSasu's base, who now has 1 sunken up, a 2nd sunken there on the way. He's turning around. Both players are just fighting there on the middle, trying to at least get something done, kill something, because both players know that they can't really do anything whatsoever. Looks like he's going for a Dragoon here. No range. HamburgerSasu is adding on a 5th hatchery for macro, 6 in total, 2 sunkens there as well. He's got 24 drones now, which is almost about the same amount as Z has, but I think Z is going to stay ahead by a little bit because we're going to be seeing HamburgerSasu being forced to go for Hydralisks here because he's going to have to mass up in order to match the amount of units that Z will have out very soon, because he's got a lot of gas. He's got a Citadel of Aduna on the way as well, and I'm expecting a Robo Citadel there too. So he's probably going for an Observer, but there's a small chance he's going for a Reaver, but he's definitely going for Zealot speed. Because that's something you gotta do. When your opponent who's a Zerg does not choke up, you have to mass up as the Protoss, and you will need Dragoon range, Dragoons, and Zealot speed. Those are two things you evidently and absolutely do need in order to fight against those Hydralisks, because otherwise, if you don't have those units, those Hydralisks can go for a counterattack, and if they are microed well enough, they can get some real damage done on your base, and probably even win the game. So that's what we're going to be seeing Z do. He's going to mass up and try to attack up slowly at the same time, but he's not going to go all on attack. He is going to build cannons here in the front, I think, because that's a pylon there. The only reason why you would be building a pylon there is if you want to build cannons here in the front to try and contain the Zerg and encroach on their hatcheries. But HamburgerSasu, I don't think he's going to let him do that. He kills the probe there. Great sniper from HamburgerSasu. Now going to try to run those Zerglings out in the middle of the map, try to get something done, maybe intercept another probe as it arrives, because he can see with these overlords what is walking through this portion there. So he's always going to try to snipe those probes to prevent cannons from happening here. That's, I think, what he's going to do. He's going to try to get those Zerglings back into his base here, though. I'm not sure if that's the right choice. He put a Zergling here on the bottom corner of the map for to send his drones to dodge drops on his drones. So that's a smart move there. Also adding on 2 more hatcheries there for a total of 6 here, 2 there, for a total of 8 macro hatcheries. There's 9 in total. He's pretty far ahead of Z, in my opinion. Z got slowed down significantly, and Z also going for that very... He's not doing what he should be doing. He's still going for that very early drop, I think. There's a Reaver there on the way, Storm there on the way as well, Forge there on the way too. So he's not putting any pressure on HamburgerSasu, and I don't think that's the right choice. The right choice here would have been to go for mass units and try to fight HamburgerSasu and put the pressure on him and keep him small. That's also the reason why HamburgerSasu went for so many Hydralisks, because that's exactly what he was expecting. He was expecting mass units, mass Zealots, mass Dragoons from his opponent. His opponent instead is going for tech. He's putting Dragoons are up on the hill to kill Overlords. He's going to put Dragoons on this hill as well to kill Overlords here on this hill too. And that might slow HamburgerSasu down a little bit, but HamburgerSasu knows that maybe now is the time to go for a counterattack, because HamburgerSasu has read his opponent quite well here, I think. He saw that the amount of units was not increasing. He saw the shuttle. He probably then can deduce that what Z is going for a drop instead of a mass. He does have a lot of units here in the front though, but not enough to fight against these Hydralisks, although the Reaver there in the back will definitely make a difference, but he's gonna push through. The cannons have already died. He's now gonna get on top of the Reaver. He's gonna try to snipe the Reaver there in the back. The Reaver gets picked up, Reaver gets microed away, stays alive. Templars are here on the scene as well. Storm has finished, but he has no energy for Storms. The Reaver there in the back is still alive, gonna keep firing on those Hydralisks, and that Reaver there in the back is definitely gonna make the difference, because that Reaver, I think, killed about 12 or maybe even more Hydralisks. It's a very tough job here for the Zerg to get through. Ken is now finishing up as well, which means that he can no longer try to barge his way through. Which means that Z is at the moment safe. He managed to salvage the situation really well. It was very close, closer than it appeared. Because if HamburgerSasu managed to kill that Reaver there in the back, he could have kept pressing forward and kept sending more units out into his opponent's choke point there and tried to overpower him with a superior mass. But he didn't get a chance to kill the Reaver. That's all really good there for Z. Z now is on 55 probes. As I mentioned before, his probe production will have... It's pretty much always a steady, constant 2 probes before he tries to snipe the shuttle there in the back. He's going to kill the Reaver there. He tries to kill the second Reaver there as well, but he won't get on top of it. Which now means that Z can go for the attack here on HamburgerSasu. HamburgerSasu is going to try to get as much damage done with these Hydralisks here as he can, but his Hydralisks get stormed to death, so he has to pull back and regroup with more Hydralisks there in his base. He's on 51 drones now, so he added on another 14 drones, well, 20 drones there while we were watching the fight. It means 20 less Hydralisks there though, but he has enough hatcheries, I think, to mass up quick enough to counter and match the amount of units that Z has. Although Z at the moment only on 7 gateways. Oh wait, is the drop coming in? Drop was... looked like a drop was coming in, or was it a drop being loaded up? It was a drop being loaded up right there. So HamburgerSasu stays alive because, of course, Z doesn't have enough units to fight. He's going to try to get some damage down with this drop while he's going to attack with his frontal mass here. But that frontal mass is rather small. Unless he gets 2 amazing storm stuff on his Hydralisk, I don't think he's going to achieve anything there with that frontal attack. But, of course, he's aiming to hit that storm drop there. That's his goal. That's his purpose. He wants to hit a storm. He doesn't care about the frontal attack. The frontal attack is just there to distract his opponent. Also, a second drop there. Nope, that one's empty. My bad. That one's empty. This one's going to be a distraction shuttle. It's going to fly in at the same time as the frontal attack is going to happen. At the same time as this one is going to fly in there on the side. Also still has the Reaver there for Reaver Shuttle Micro. But HamburgerSasu is preparing himself for that attack and for these drops really well. Although there's a wide open hole here. But this shuttle, of course, is empty. He's going to try to draw those Hydralisks away from the sides and fly this one in. Although he goes in a little bit prematurely and the shuttle gets sniped. No, the shuttle gets sniped just in time. Another storm up there on the side. Frontal attack there is, of course, being repelled because it was just there to distract. HamburgerSasu down with 63 works, although this one's going to come in. That's a fake shuttle. Real shuttle there coming in as well, but he's going to snipe that one as well because HamburgerSasu is so aware of what's going on and he manages to stop Z in his tracks. Great play there for HamburgerSasu. Manages to keep everything together really well. Z now on 63 probes as well. He's got more probes are on the way, adding on more gas because he needs more gas. He's feeling he's running quite low on his gas income. He's adding on more gateways and robos there as well. He wants more Reavers, more drops, more Dragoons. Pretty much more of everything is what he's gonna need in order to fight and deal damage to his opponent. He's going for a lot of lurkers there. He has Overlord speed finished up and transportation should be finishing up soon as well. So he's going to fly these Overlords over the hill and fly them here into Z's base and try to kill his workers with lurkers and highlights. Although he's going to go for a frontal attack here first. He's going to try to break through. He's going to try to break free. Is he going to do it? Oh, a lot of storms are coming out on the highlights, and the highlights are pretty much an amazing dodge there on the storms from HamburgerSasu. Keeps most of his highlights there alive. And he's already sending his units here to the side to load them up into the Overlords and fly them into Z's base. And Z doesn't have much here in between to protect himself against that drop is going to be coming in from HamburgerSasu. That's a really quick play there from HamburgerSasu, getting that tech up and rolling for that attack pretty much as fast as he can, knowing that his opponent will not have mass defensive cannons to defend. Although Overlord speed's still on the way, he went for transportation first, and the slowness of this might actually cue Z in on the fact that this is happening, because he can hear it. And now HamburgerSasu is going to be forced to unload here on the side. He simply blocks it by building some cannons here, so now he can't get through. Now the storms are going to come in from the front to the back. He should have waited for the Overlord speed, and he would have definitely been able to hit the probes in the back. Although he's moving closer, he's getting blocked once again by probes, so he can't get in. Although this it goes down just in time. The storms are saving the day. Zealot there on the scene as well, so more storms going to come down to clear this out because there's no detection here in the back. He's going to try to have to kill that forge, but he's not going to be able to. And the lurker there goes down as well. And that attempt from HamburgerSasu, even though very smart, the slowness of the Overlords, no Overlord speed, gives away that it's happening and won't let him unload quick enough, and the drop attempt there falls short by not a little, but by a lot. So that gives Z now a huge window of time to build up and go for an attack, because HamburgerSasu is going to try to go for another mass drop here, but he does no longer have lurkers in the mix, and missing lurkers in the mix is going to make this less effective. But nonetheless, he's going to try. He loaded up most of the oh, he's got a lurker there. I'm wrong. He's got one lurker there. He's going to try to fly in once again. Z very clearly picking up his Archons there to land them there in the back. He's going to run his probes away to safety, away from the lurker. The lurker there is burrowed up in between. A lot of Reavers, Archons here coming into the mix to kill those units. Highlighters there still alive. 12 highlighters there in the back. Lurker there as well. No detection on the scene. Detection is there on the way. He's going to kill the Nexus. He kills the Nexus. Great job there from HamburgerSasu. And he comes out on top in this fight here with some great movement. Just a simple rinse and repeat. He just went for it again. And 1vs1zzzzz was not expecting that to happen. Loses, I think, about 20 of his probes there as well. And that is going to be hurting him a lot. He already got slowed down in the early game. HamburgerSasu, of course, also went for kind of a slow start. But he managed to buy himself a lot of time with a harass in the early game. And now this harass here is going to slow Z down so significantly much. He's only on a single Nexus and has to rebuild his probe count there. It's going to be, I think, about 4 probes per minute, maybe slightly more. That's a painful one. He's loading up this mass drop here. He's going to try to get something done there in the back of HamburgerSasu's main base. HamburgerSasu almost maxed out. He's massing up so quick. He's going to load up another Overlord drop. This time he's going to go for another mass lurkers and fly that one into Z's base straight away. Z's having a really tough time here. Shuttles there gonna leave, but they're gonna fly over Hydralisks, and the Hydralisks, of course, the Overlords meet the shuttles. He's gonna unload a couple of the units there. He's gonna make it through all the way. Actually, he's gonna go for. He's gonna get some drone kills. He's gonna get a lot of drone kills. He's gonna kill the Nexus, the Hive here as well in the back. That's 6 Reavers there coming in. Gonna kill the hive. He kills the hive there, but at the same time, drops coming in here on his own base. A lot of lurkers here unloading. Storms there in the scene as well. He's gonna get any probe kills. He's not gonna get probe kills. Or there's still a couple lurkers there on the scene. Lurkers are burrowing up and being detected and being killed. And he doesn't get any kills there whatsoever. And HamburgerSasu in the meantime has lost all of his drones. He's got 19 drones left. And he did clear out all the units here on the scene. So he did clear it out, but a great counterpunch there coming in from Z, managing to deal a significant hit, significant blow there on HamburgerSasu, making him lose his hive, making him lose, I think, about 40 drones there as well, although he has pretty much already replenished all of his drones. But the counterattack there from HamburgerSasu while it was happening, of course, means that Z can now no longer throw out a secondary attack, though he has a storm drop here on the way. There's 3 Templars, 3 Zealots, and he's being uncontested. He's gonna go in all the way. He's gonna storm all the drones here from Z. One storm, only one storm coming out there from Z. He only had enough energy for a single one, but he did kill, I think, about 10 drones there. So that's a pretty hard hit there for HamburgerSasu. Though HamburgerSasu still has 1700 minerals left to try and recover with. But I think HamburgerSasu is going to load up once again another drop, though. Storm drop there coming in from Z, but it's going to get sniped. No, it makes it. Ooh, got sniped. Barely arrived on the scene there. HamburgerSasu there with a very close save there. But HamburgerSasu now is going to try to finish off his opponent. He's loading up another mass lurker drop there, and he's going to send it into Z's base. Z, at the same time, of course, is trying to buy himself time by throwing out continuous storm drops on his opponent. But he's not having much success with the storm drops themselves. The Reaver mass drop did the trick though. That bought him a lot of time, but he's still behind. He's still behind his opponent. Managed to drive here on the scene. No, he's turning around because he knows his units will die pretty much instantly, so he's going to load here on the side. And the Reavers are going to try to kill the Hylists there. Storms on the Hylists. Storms all the Hylists are dead. Only 2 of them left alive. Picks up the remaining Templars and is now going to fly them close to the drones. He's going to try to kill the drones, but a mass drop is here happening at the same time. He kills the drones there, but he's also losing his own probes at the same time. There's a lot of lurkers here next in between the cannons, and there's not enough storms or detection to kill them. He's going to load them up. He's going to burrow them. He's going to try to kill everything he can here. He killed most of the probes there, and he also lost most of the drones in his own base, but he has 27 drones left, whereas there's only 14 probes left and remaining here for Z, who's currently trying to kill this one remaining lurker, but he has no detection. He's got detection there in the front, but no detection there in the back. I have to storm this one to death with that Templar. No, the Templar has no energy. This is one of the scrappiest second halves of a game I've seen in a while. Both players are bleeding out, but HamburgerSasu is in a better spot there because he's got a lot of hatcheries to replace his drones with, which should make replacing his drones very quick and easy. Where Z has a single Nexus and has 16 probes, which means 4 probes per minute, maybe 1 extra or 2 extra probes per 3 minutes, so a total of 12 or so, or 14 per 3 minutes. It's not that many. It's going to be behind on HamburgerSasu by a significant margin. Though this one is going to be... No, he's going to load it in the front. He's going to try to kill Hylists first. Going to picks it up, flies away, keeps it safe, stays alive there with those 2 Reaver shuttles. But the drones are in the back. They're just mining closely, and HamburgerSasu now knows that he is so far ahead of his opponent, he can drone up comfortably and then mass up, defend against drops, which are pretty much the only way Z is going to make a comeback, is using drops. Try and kill the workers. He's going to load up 4 shuttles there, and go for a last-ditch effort mass drop attempt there in HamburgerSasu's base. But HamburgerSasu has already moved on to producing a Hylisk, and he's already loading up another drop here to fly it into his opponent's base. But Z sees it, and Z turns around, sees... Ooh, Z defends it from pretty well. He simply repels it by being present there on the scene. But more overlords have spawned here for HamburgerSasu. He's going to load them up with Hylisk, and Z is going to have to face that one. Although the shuttles here are arriving and flying over the hill, loading there on the low ground. You got an observer there in the mix as well. HamburgerSasu is not attacking just yet. He's waiting a little bit longer. Lurker there on the hill. Units there on the hill. Storming on the hill. Wasting the storms. Actually, that's a really great move there from HamburgerSasu, because now there's almost no storms here to be used on the Hylisk next to the mass here from Z. Hylisk coming in from the low ground onto the corner there. They're going to try to get us around. They're being mic'd quite well, but a lot of them are going down. Reavers are still alive. 1 Reaver went down. Templar still alive there as well. And this is the last fight here from Z, because this is pretty much the only thing he has left. He's not going to achieve much here, but he's going to try. He's going to try to fight through. Weaver inside the shuttle, but the shuttle gets taken down as he loses the game. And HamburgerSasu comes out on top after 20 minutes and 38 seconds with a very well executed, but very unorthodox Zerg versus Protoss build order and strategy. Z was pretty much always running behind on the facts, and HamburgerSasu was always a step ahead of him. Really interesting game. We don't often see a game like this, where the Zerg pretty much dictates the pace from start to finish by picking a pretty interesting starting build order that we don't really ever see executed to success. It's very rare, because you need your opponent to be right next to you, and you need your opponent to do a build order that is very weak against that build order specifically. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a pretty good match. I'm going to look for a thumbnail. And yeah, see you next time.